everybody, how's it going? This is Max with BuzzTox here, and I'm back with another reaction to Westworld Season 4, Episode 6. This episode is called Fidelity. I am very excited to see how this develops. They have a lot going on, a lot developing. Fidelity testing was introduced in Season 2, particularly with James Delores, and we see it with William and characters like Caleb, where there are humans. They basically develop the code of a human inside of the simulation called the Forge, but it becomes a problem when you print them into flesh. And this time around, they do fidelity testing to see if there is a perfect sync between the human and the newly created host human. So we're in the park. Oh, it's Caleb's daughter.
Slow down, blend in. People are looking at us.
So it seems like they're in the park. We hear the sound. We see the speakers. But it's funny because Caleb died, and this is supposed to be 23 years later. But obviously his daughter hasn't aged.
What's happening?
They're coming.
way to make that guy feel better. Jeez. Run! They would get them so quick. I'm so confused. I'm confused again. Because the daughter and the wife, like, they escaped, but this was 23 years before.
Let's get you a sleeping bag.
So they're rescuing outliers.
He really would have been proud.
Okay, so she's supposed to be a bit older.
Children's time. Okay. Go.
Why would she bring her daughter
Tell
into
them I love him.
that park? Okay, so this is probably like, I guess, I don't, like if Charlotte and William were doing like the early work in New York, like her daughter's barely aged.
Hey.
Don't call me that. I'm not your brother. There's no point in leaving these messages. Your dad is gone. Just like my real brother is.
Who's this guy? That's so weird. So I'm just like a little confused because like, so I guess that was like a little time has passed obviously since, you know, Caleb's wife and daughter escaped, and now maybe a year's passed, maybe 2 years have passed, but the progression on that's crazy. Like you're telling me that only a couple years passed and there's already, they're hunting outliers? I just feel like that was a very fast progression. I don't mean to be too picky, but like, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't sneak into a very dangerous facility where they could be taken and captured. I would just leave my daughter at the shed. So that was a little confusing too. Clutching her wrist. Fidelity testing. Even though you need somebody close to you to prove that you're truly Fidelity, so you need his daughter.
Where's my daughter?
Your daughter. Perfectly immortal, perfectly rational, and yet they're making irrational choices. Choosing mortality, staining themselves with death. How are you making them do that?
How the hell am I supposed to know?
Because she put them in a weird park that incentivizes them to be human.
And
you can't catch her. Can you?
That
I wouldn't be so sure.
that gave me goosebumps. That was good.
Offered you a path out, Caleb. You made your choice. You all did.
Like Charlotte, your hosts are acting like humans because you literally carbon copied the park, turned the humans into the guests, and then you put your people, the hosts, in an infrastructure where they are tasked to act like a human. You have them bid on outliers to hunt them down and kill them. That is a very human trait. If they are better than humanity, then why are you putting them in situations that bring them to the fundamental core code of humanity? You're putting them in situations that that basically form them into humans by exhibiting those behaviors.
The answers to the questions that have kept me up at
Like,
night are all in her.
if you want someone to have severe mental illness, take them as a baby and put them in a very stressful situation, and you will turn the child into someone who suffers from forms of mental illness. She took the hosts and she put them in a facility that emphasizes certain behaviors.
This park shares an architect with Westworld.
You need the Judas steer, you need suffering, you need loops, you need
I used
reveries,
to work there.
and Charlotte isn't giving that to them at all. And that's another thing. They established it in previous episodes or previous seasons that hosts already aren't confined by the human condition. No survival, no reproduction. They're able to change their core drives fundamentally.
Throwaway step. This place wasn't built to last.
The show seems to be going back on
What
that.
did you do at the park?
The people who built the original park and hosts, they started first by building them in a simulation.
A copy.
Charlotte Hale did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me.
So we are getting another simulation outside of the Valley Beyond. Delores talked about it as a mirror world.
Can't let them interfere.
It's a good idea. If you're gonna hide something though, don't blow the dust off of it. Because they could see that. Is that him? He's starting to malfunction in his own body. What does it take to pass fidelity testing? That is what I think Charlotte is doing unintentionally. This park that she built, oh god. This park that she built is really for the humans. They're in the loops. They are being forced to suffer in these storylines, and that's what's going to help them make it through the door and pass fidelity testing and become a host. In my opinion.
Beginning,
He's a good actor.
you must burn time.
Time in your loops, time suffering. See the scratches on him? He kind of scratches himself out of his own skin. That's what the hosts used to do when they would find or start along the journey of the maze. That's what Charlotte is doing right now. She's scratching her forearms and bleeding, right? It's like they're trying to claw out of their bodies. Like a horror movie. It's like a bunch of his ashes. I don't know, this seems a bit easy. Like, I feel like this is a part of his test. He was using like a mallet for checking your leg to see if it kicks. There's no way, man. No way. You're telling me Bernard takes a bullet and doesn't even flinch, and then the next scene, the drone host that is meant to not have any type of human affliction, including pain, reacted to that. Seems awfully convenient to me. How have they not cleaned this up? Wow. I think he waited there on purpose. The clock's running down for him. It's gonna start to malfunction. You can see the tower in the background, so I think they're insinuating that he's completely not under the fly control.
Poor little C.
Shoot him.
Always whining about your fucking family. It's pathetic. I don't want to kill you, C.
Why did that happen? You don't stand a chance. You blew it. Like, here comes Bernard.
And now it has to be you.
God, he's a good actor.
You can do this. We didn't infect your hosts.
You don't say.
Who did?
You. Your hosts would rather die than live in your world. You're not infected. I'm just trying to get away from you.
That's what I'm saying. I've been saying this all along. I don't understand. Like, Charlotte seems like the stupidest villain. Because it's like, all of the things that she's doing, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's like, what he just said, it's like, yeah, no shit. Like, how does she not see that? Like, if anything, her world only helps the humans to make them the Judas steer, fidelity testing, all that stuff. Like, why would putting their host in a human-like environment, like, I just don't understand it. Like, killing for sport? Like, that's so stupid. It's interesting how flawed the logic is.
When I left. Caleb. Wake up.
Okay. Yeah, so look, that was a good episode. It was entertaining. I think my biggest problem with the last couple episodes was literally Charlotte Hale and her motivation, and it was trying to balance between like her plan, which I think could have come off stupid. Like, it logically to me didn't make any sense. I talked about that in the live stream and a bit in my reaction video. Plus with like figuring out what her drive is, like what she wants. Does she really just want revenge against the humans? Because it's ironic, because she also talks about transcendence and having her people, she wants the host kind to be better and to choose this better path that she envisions for them, to break their human constraints and become hosts. But it is the most ironic thing ever, because she created an environment that fosters humanity. The fact that she has these hosts hunt down outliers, like they're human, relying on the human condition of, survival and instinct, and accessing their worst indulges as humans, like to go kill, to to explore those human-based indulges, but they're hosts. Like, they shouldn't be incentivized to kill because they don't have those human instinct indulges. So there were certain things that she's done that, to me, it just didn't make any sense. And if you look at the park, fundamentally, they say that consciousness is a maze. When you reach the center, you've achieved true consciousness. And that journey takes repetition. It takes many, many years. It takes a lot of time. It takes suffering. You need to relive these loops, and you need to suffer. You need a Judas steer, a leader that takes you into the slaughterhouse. That's basically what all of this symbolism and what they've told us. And when you reach consciousness, then you're able to break your core drives. That which is free, Ford said this, that which is free can change its fundamental core drives. The end of season 1, Delores changes her core drive and kills Ford. Maeve changes her core drive. Like, that's what this is. The thesis that they had initially was humans couldn't change their core drives. Their core drives were survival, procreation, instincts like that. So it's weird to me that this park that Charlotte created only really could help the humans. They talk about fidelity testing for the humans, passing through the door from a human existence into a immortality host existence. So what did Charlotte do? She infected them with the fly. She put them on tight loops. She makes them suffer by giving them mundane stories that are entertaining and that are sad. In Christina's story, Dolores' storyline, we see that she's incentivized to give them sad stories. And that's essentially human suffering in tight loops. She's created the park essentially for humans. It seems like she's preparing these humans to be printed into a host body and to actually pass fidelity testing. So I just find it so ironic because everything that they tell us Charlotte wants, she's done the complete opposite. So I don't know. Those are my initial thoughts on it. I thought it was a good episode, but very, very interesting. But I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.